All right, what is going on, family? Hope everyone is doing well. Today, I kind of want to talk about addiction. Today, I just got back from Selichot. Don't know if many of you know what that is. If not, cool. If you are clicking off because I'm a Jew and you don't like Jews, so be it. But yeah, today's topic is going to be a bit more serious. Um, I just want to hit home on the point that sobriety is a superpower. And so addiction is a disease, and it's a disease that people usually often treat in the wrong way, from what I realized. And so you have to have a very strong mindset when dealing with addiction. Now, I think a lot of the times people get addicted to things to try to fill a hole. Usually, that's whether that's like a parent treated someone bad in their childhood, and there's someone that's dealing with the cortisol and the lack of dopamine that they got naturally, and so they try to fill their brain up with dopaminergic things that ultimately lead to the demise of a person. Now, I think it was an Andrew Huberman podcast that said anything that gives you dopamine for free without you working for it will ruin your life. I think that's the most true thing that I've heard in a very long time. Whether that's drugs, alcohol, substances, porn, video games, these things are built to play on human psychology and your brain chemicals in a way that will literally ruin you. So I just want to hit home on the point that you should be careful. In this capitalist world that we live in, a lot of the things that are like provided to us are given to us in like a predatory way. So, people have alcohol in certain circumstances and then claim that, one drink of alcohol is healthy for the heart. And this has been disproven so many times. So societal circumstances and societal norms will sort of like lead someone down a path of, getting addicted to things, and like will almost force someone to like get hooked on things that they shouldn't be hooked on, because that's how society benefits at the end of the day. That's how these companies make money from cigarettes being addictive, things like that, from alcohol being addictive. That's why there's so many new alcohol companies that are coming out like all the time. So like every celebrity is like having their own alcohol company now, and it's kind of scary at this point. So just be careful. I do want to talk about porn and lust and sex as an addiction, because the problem with sex being an addiction is that not only does it play on your dopamine pathways, it also plays on your oxytocin pathways. And so the withdrawal from sex addiction is horrendous. And this is why sex is such a sacred, intimate, religious act. And so I think it should really be treated as such. And so I think everything that has potential for addiction, even things that don't, should be treated as, like, be taken with caution. For example, coffee and caffeine need to be treated as a drug, where caffeine is literally a drug. So if you're someone that has a daily cup of coffee, you have to really think, are you having a daily cup of coffee because you're addicted to it? And if you don't go for it like the next day, then you're going to crash and have a headache and be asleep the whole day? Or can you just go with coffee? You just enjoy coffee, So when it comes to coffee, like, and caffeine, if you're a healthy person with healthy eating habits, healthy everything habits, sleep schedule, everything, exercise, then you should have energy levels that are sufficient to carry you through the day without needing a coffee. So this is why I'm very like wary about people that are addicted to coffee and caffeine and pre-workout and things like that. These things are once again designed to get you hooked so that they can benefit as a company. Another thing with weed is advertised as not being addictive inherently, but once again, anything that you put into your body, like exogenously, I don't know if that's a word, exogenous, whatever. When you put something into your body that will relieve, whether it's pain, whether it's like mental anguish, things like this have very, 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 very high likelihood for dependence. And so things like this need to be treated as such. If you choose to indulge, I'm not saying don't indulge in anything, don't have a coffee, don't have a joint, whatever. Do whatever you want, but it should never become a habit. You should never wake up in the morning, smoke a joint. You should never wake up in the morning, have a coffee and cigarette. If you want to have a joint socially, so be it. But even like going down this route of social indulgence is a completely dangerous route, because at the end of the day, you're always going to find a reason to indulge. You're always going to find a reason to celebrate. You're always going to find a reason to have shots and l'chaims and stuff like that. So if you choose to go down the social route, just be aware that that is it's a gateway, and that in and of itself will get you hooked if you're not already. Now, I don't think this gets talked about enough, but the mindset to beat addiction is something that I sort of learned with heartbreak. And so most of the time when people are addicted to a substance, let's talk about alcohol. When someone is addicted to alcohol or drugs, they take these substances to fill a void, right? Let's say something happened in someone's childhood, and so I'm going to use that example again. So let's say someone had an abusive parent, and they use substances to fill that hole that they have in their heart with, substances as opposed to healthy habits, right? And they're numbing the pain that they really feel. The problem with substances is that let's say there's this level of pain. When people take substances, the goal is to lessen that pain. And so I totally understand pain is not something that people want to sit in. It's not pleasurable. Of course, it's pain. But the only way to really beat addiction is through sheer mental brute force and having a very sharp mindset change. Instead of using substances to take the pain away, you want to flip a switch in your head to think that you don't want to lessen the pain. In fact, if you have the mindset that you want to run towards the pain, that's going to be extremely helpful. So the way to beat these addictions is not by just by tapering or going cold turkey or things like that. It's by realizing that there's a hole that there's a void that wants to be filled. And the way to beat it is not by trying to lessen the pain, it's by trying to lean into the pain and feel the pain and make it even more painful, right? You can use that energy for a lot of things. Use that pain to build a body, to build a business, build whatever. Society was built on pain, and right, like there have been societies and generations of just pain and sheer brute force that have gotten us to where we are today. This is what I really want to hit home on. I'm going to say it again because this is really important. Instead of running away from the pain using substances, cut out all these addictive things, addictive behaviors, addictive substances, addictive habits, and lean into the pain, lean into the hole, the void that's missing, and use that as energy, use that as fuel. Instead of running away from it, instead of trying to lessen the pain, go in with the mindset that you're trying to, if anything, increase the pain, feel more pain, punish yourself by going through things sober. Once again, sobriety is a superpower. Not many people can say that they don't indulge in things. In my opinion, the people that say I have never smoked or done this or that, or it's been months since I've done that, that's a huge flex to me, more than literally anything that money can buy or anything. So again, I'm going to say it to make it very clear. Instead of trying to lessen the pain with substances, lean into the pain and try to feel the pain and increase the pain, if anything, with the lack of substances. So it's this mindset shift that is really going to be the game changer. You don't want to be someone that's like trying to constantly get rid of pain because you can't always run away from it. These things are going to catch up to you. You know, it's going to be a snowball effect of things that are causing pain in life, whether that's, you know, substances that lead to relationships being ruined, or habits lead to lack of money and resources and things like that. These things have a snowball effect. So lean into the pain, increase and really feel the pain naturally as you were meant to do without substances. So yeah, I hope that made any sense. If it didn't, I'll make a follow-up video. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something. If you're not addicted to anything, then good on you. If you are, I hope you can take this as inspiration to lean into the pain instead of running away from it. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day and take care.